Hey there, Knicks Nation. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that's got everyone buzzing, the potential for a Knicks death lineup. Buckle up, because we're about to break down some serious basketball strategy that could change the way we see our team play. What is a death lineup? First off, let's tackle the big question. What exactly is a death lineup? Well, in NBA speak, it's basically a team's best five-man unit without a traditional center. It's all about maximizing offense while maintaining enough defense and rebounding to stay competitive. Think of it as the basketball equivalent of a nuclear option. You don't use it all the time, but when you do, it can be absolutely devastating. The term was coined for the Golden State Warriors back in 2014-15 when they started playing Draymond Green at center. It was a game changer that helped propel them to their first championship of the dynasty. But before we get into how this applies to our Knicks, let's take a quick trip down memory lane to understand why these lineups are so effective. What makes a death lineup effective? In that first championship season for the Warriors, their death lineup of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Harrison Barnes, Andre Iguodala, and Draymond Green at center played just 102 out of 39-46 regular season minutes. That's barely 2.5% of the time. But in the playoffs, they ramped it up, using this lineup for 111 out of 10-23 minutes, or about 10% of the time. The results were incredible. This lineup consistently outscored opponents at a ridiculous rate. In the 2015-16 season, they posted a plus 40.2 net rating in 172 minutes. That's not a typo, folks. Plus 40.2. Now, you might be thinking, wait a second, the Knicks have never played like that. And you'd be right, until now. The acquisition of OG Anunoby changed everything. For the first time, Coach Thibs has a non-center who can reliably guard the paint, at least for short stretches. We got a taste of this in Game 4 of the playoffs when OG was guarding Joel Embiid down the stretch. What about Thibs? Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but Thibs loves his traditional centers. He'd never go small, and you're not wrong. During the regular season, Anunoby played just three non-garbage time possessions without a traditional big man on the floor. But here's where it gets really exciting. With the addition of Mikal Bridges and the departure of Isaiah Hartenstein, the door is wide open for some seriously intriguing small ball lineups. Thibs might not have a choice but to experiment with these units, especially in crucial playoff moments. Who makes the cut for the Knicks death lineup? So who makes the cut for the Knicks potential death lineup? Let's break it down. 1. Jalen Brunson, our floor general and offensive engine. He's the Steph Curry of this lineup, the guy who makes everything go. His ability to create his own shot and punish mismatches is crucial, non-negotiable. 2. OG Anunoby, the key that unlocks this whole strategy with his versatile defense. He's our Draymond Green, capable of guarding multiple positions and protecting the rim in short stints. His improved three-point shooting makes him a threat on both ends. 3. Mikal Bridges, elite shooting, defense, and shot creation. He's in the Klay Thompson role here, providing spacing and perimeter defense. His length and versatility make him a perfect fit for this style of play. That leaves us with 2 spots and 3 prime candidates: Donte DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, and Julius Randle. The case for Randle and DiVincenzo is strong. Imagine a Brunson-Randle pick and roll with no traditional big clogging the paint, surrounded by elite shooters. It's a defensive nightmare for opponents. Randle, despite his defensive limitations, brings a unique skill set to this lineup. He's a walking mismatch, capable of bullying smaller defenders in the post or taking bigger defenders off the dribble. His passing ability adds another dimension to the offense, allowing for some truly creative sets. DiVincenzo, on the other hand, brings elite shooting and secondary playmaking. He attempted and made more three-pointers than anyone in the league after the All-Star break last season. His ability to space the floor and keep the ball moving is crucial for a lineup like this to work. But don't count out Josh Hart. His defense, rebounding, and intangibles could be crucial, especially against certain matchups like the Boston Celtics. Hart brings a different dynamic to the lineup. He's not the shooter that DiVincenzo is, but his ability to grab rebounds, push the pace in transition, and guard multiple positions could be invaluable. He's the type of player who always seems to make the right play at the right time. When to implement the death lineup. Speaking of matchups, that's the key here. The Knicks' death lineup might look different depending on the opponent. Against most teams, Randle and DiVincenzo might be the way to go. But against the Celtics, Hart's defense and transition game could be invaluable. Let's break down how these lineups might work against different opponents. Against most teams, Brunson, DiVincenzo, Bridges, Anunoby, Randle. This lineup provides maximum spacing and offensive firepower. The Brunson-Randle pick and roll would be the focal point, with 3 elite shooters spacing the floor. Defensively, it might struggle against traditional bigs, but the offensive potential could outweigh that. Against the Celtics, Brunson, Hart, Bridges, Anunoby, Randle. Here, we're prioritizing defense and versatility. Hart's ability to guard multiple positions and rebound would be crucial against Boston's switchable lineup. We'd sacrifice some shooting, but the defensive gains could be worth it. Against teams with elite centers, Brunson, DiVincenzo, Bridges, Anunoby, Hart. This is our smallest lineup, but it could be effective in short bursts against teams like Denver or Philadelphia. The idea would be to run their big men off the floor, using speed and shooting to our advantage. Now, don't expect to see these lineups all the time. If I were a betting man, I'd set the over-under at 99.5 non-garbage time minutes for OG at center during the regular season. In the playoffs, we might see small ball for 10-15% of the time. Remember, even the Warriors use their death lineup sparingly in the regular season. It's all about having it in your back pocket for when it matters most. The regular season is a marathon, not a sprint. You can't rely on these smaller lineups for extended minutes over 82 games. It's too taxing physically, especially for a guy like Randle who would be asked to guard centers. But in the playoffs, that's when these lineups can truly shine. Imagine we're in a tight Game 6 against the Celtics. Brunson's cooking, but we need that extra offensive boost. That's when Thibs can unleash this lineup, catching the opponent off guard and potentially swinging the series. Potential concerns. Now let's address some potential concerns. 1. Rebounding. This is the biggest worry with any small ball lineup. We'd be giving up size and potentially struggling on the boards. However, players like Hart and Anunoby are excellent rebounders for their position. It would need to be a team effort, with guards crashing the boards as well. 2. Rim protection. While Anunoby has shown flashes of being able to protect the rim, he's not Mitchell Robinson. We'd be relying more on perimeter defense and rotations to protect the paint. It's a risk, but one that could pay off with increased offensive output. 3. Fatigue. Playing small is taxing, especially for someone like Randle, who would be asked to guard bigger players. This is why we'd likely see these lineups in short bursts, not for extended periods. 4. Thibs' willingness. Let's be real. Thibs loves his traditional centers. It might take some convincing, and maybe some front office influence, to get him to fully embrace these lineups. But the playoffs have a way of forcing innovation. Why the Knicks' potential death lineups are exciting. So why should we be excited about this potential death lineup? Here are a few reasons. 1. Offensive potential. With 5 players who can all shoot, dribble, and pass, our offense could reach new heights. The spacing would be incredible, opening up driving lanes for Brunson and Randle. 2. Defensive versatility. While we might struggle against traditional bigs, we'd gain the ability to switch everything on defense. This could be crucial against teams like Boston or Miami, who rely on a lot of off-ball movement. 3. Pace. These lineups could allow us to play at a faster pace, potentially wearing down opponents over the course of a game or series. 4. Adaptability. Having this option in our back pocket makes us more adaptable. we can match up with small ball teams or force bigger teams to adjust to us. Now, I want to emphasize that this doesn't mean we're abandoning our traditional style of play. Mitchell Robinson is still a crucial part of this team, and we'll likely see traditional lineups for the majority of our minutes. But having this death lineup as an option gives us a new dimension, a secret weapon we can unleash when the moment calls for it. So, Knicks fans, what do you think? Are you excited to see a potential death lineup in action? Which combination would you like to see most? Do you think Thibs will actually use these lineups, or will he stick to his traditional approach? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Before we wrap up, I want to thank you all for sticking with me through this deep dive. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. We'll be here all season long, analyzing every move the Knicks make on and off the court. Remember, whether we're going big or small, we're all in this together. The potential for this death lineup just adds another exciting dimension to what's shaping up to be a thrilling season. Let's go, Knicks!